Alright then, welcome back to the channel. United have managed to get a victory on the final day of the season, beating Brighton and sort of spoiling Zerbi's final party. And we'll talk about Zerbi in a bit, actually. And looking ahead to what is going to happen, or what we think might happen with United and Manchester City in the final next weekend. Weird game, wasn't it? Really, really, really weird game. Obviously, United had some sort of an eye on next week. I thought the first half especially, Brighton completely dominated us with the ball. United were a little bit better, little bit better in the second half. Brighton didn't create a lot, really. For all of the possession that they had, they weren't peppering with shots. There was one early doors that I thought Onana saved, but it was Martinez that actually flicked it out. Nice to see him get an hour. Obviously being saved ahead of next week. Obviously nice to see Varane as well. I assume that probably means he's not involved in the final, but you never know. He might go with Varane and Martinez in the final. But yeah, it was just a really bizarre kind of game, wasn't it? I thought there was a few poor performances. I thought Garnacho was one. I thought Amrabat was one. Ahmad, I thought, looked a little bit on the lively side. Casemiro, I don't know what to think with Casemiro at the moment. And sometimes I think he's still got it. He's still got a bit of a swagger about him, and other times I think he just looks like he can't be arsed anymore. It's really confusing sort of situation with Casemiro. But we got the win. And what does that mean for the league? Well, not a lot really in the grand scheme of things. We stay in 8th position, which is the worst Premier League finish we've had. We are level on points with Newcastle, but on account of us, scoring less goals than we actually conceded, and obviously having a negative goal difference, we clearly aren't going to be overtaking anyone on goal difference alone. So technically no European football, no Conference League football for us. Win the FA Cup, and then you are in Europe. One of them, innit? Okay, fair enough. Do I want to be in Conference? No. Do I want to be in Europa? No. And, it's not even a 50-50 at this stage now, is it? It's going to be a straight up, well, we'll see what we get sort of affair in terms of, if we beat Manchester City, I'm going to be delighted at winning the FA Cup and beating Manchester City. The fact that we're in Europa League, I feel like it'd take the shine off it just a little bit. Not loads, maybe like, 0.5%. But I actually think United would really benefit from just playing football, Saturday next year, and then focus on actually getting some systems in place, some game playing, and I think United would really benefit from that. Now, clearly the executives aren't going to be happy with that, but it is what it is. You can't say United going into this game with all the injuries that they've got coming up against Manchester City are anywhere near a favourites, so it is what it is. City have obviously won the league today. They got the job done, finished a good couple of points ahead of Arsenal. Arsenal did go behind in the game. Ashley Young decided that he'd rather it was a little bit closer than that, as he often does. So Arsenal did end up getting the win in the end, and they were only 2 points off. Liverpool a distant third. Aston Villa clearly must have had their end of season party last night because they just got shafted by Crystal Palace. And the three that came up are the three that have gone down. So talk to me about this competitive Premier League. Yeah, it just isn't, is it? 40 points you needed to stay up. 40 points would have you in 15th with Everton. Obviously, Everton have had a points deduction, but that's where that is at the moment. You're mad. So that's the end of that. It feels such a weird energy to finish on, doesn't it? Talk about the game? Not really. Can't really be asked talking about the game. Wasn't a lot to talk about in the game. Talk about the machinations of what's happening with the managerial changes. Obviously, Moyes has been sacked. Or he's going at the end of the season. Fucking bizarre thing to do with a manager that's won you something. You're going to see Zerbi leaving Brighton. Is there anything in the Dan Ashworth link with United? Has it already been decided he was going United and he didn't think that was appropriate to mention before he fucking played us? Because it wouldn't be, would it? Let's be honest. Then you've got Barcelona going to be looking for a manager. Obviously, Liverpool have got Arne Slot. Bayern Munich looking for a manager. Supposedly Juventus, Milan, all of these places, managerial changes going on. And Chelsea are always 5 seconds away from needing a new manager as well. So you think, what is going to happen? What is going to happen this summer? Because the managerial shifts are going to be quite something. The managerial shifts are going to be quite the entertainment, I think, this summer. Obviously, you've got the transfers to look forward to. You've got all of that sort of stuff. Does it feel like an FA Cup week for you, or does it feel like the end of the season? Because for me, it actually does feel like the end of the season. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm talking about all this lot, and actually we've got an FA Cup final against Manchester City next week. And, like, look, everyone's talking about, City have just done a 4-peat, something we never did. The standard of the Premier League is in the fucking dirt. Like, Liverpool was shite this year and came third. Like, look how poor some of these teams have been. Villa just got absolutely pieced up by Crystal Palace 5-0. Tottenham didn't win a fucking game for how long? Like, this is the competition. This is what you're winning as your league. It's been a crap league for a few years, to be honest. I'm not just going to say coincidentally for 11 years. No, it's been a few years. When Ollie came second, when Jose came second, they were shit leagues. I went fucking viral going, you might as well be selling, you won a shit league. Because it was a shit league. It was a shit league then. We came second. I should be going, haven't we done fucking well? We've come second. Like Arsenal are doing now, absolutely fucking stroking themselves into oblivion. We've come second a couple of times as well. We're shit. The league's shit. Yeah, Manchester City have had a little bit of dominance. It's weird because everyone just looks at the way Manchester City have gone about things and go, it don't count. Ultimately, it does count, but we don't feel like it counts. Now, even if they get charged, they've been charged, even if they get found guilty of the charges that they've been charged with, this isn't like other scandals. They're accused of doing some cooking of the books, lying about where their money came from, and half of the charges, near enough 50-some of the charges, are just failure to cooperate with the investigation, which is a mad technicality. This isn't match fixing. This isn't the buying of referees, which is something that Barcelona have been accused of, or there's questions about why they've been paying referees certain different things. This isn't the Calcio scandal that happened in Italy. This is different to all of those sorts of things where there was real cheating involved. As much as it pains me of all people to say this, like, if Manchester City have cheated and if they're proven guilty of the cheating that they've been accused of 115 times, which fucking hell, surely they are. Or surely they're at least, they can't be not guilty of 115 things. They've got to be guilty of some of this, surely. Like, that must have been so well prepared and put together. Even if they're found guilty of all this shit, I don't think they've cheated on the pitch. I just think they've just come at a time when it's a fucking poor standard. And I think, look at this Arsenal team compared to prior Arsenal teams. When you Henry and Bergkamp and Vieira and Adams, this is fucking nowhere near that level. Nowhere near that level. United are nowhere near what we used to be. And obviously, but even like the players in the league, where's that? When United do eventually win a league again, because we will, I don't know when. 10 years ago, I said it might take 5 years. Might have missed the mark on that one. What's it going to take? I don't know. Genuinely don't know. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but we will win a league again. I'm sure of it. I'm sure we'll do it with over 90 points. I'm sure, everyone will be claiming this is the fucking this, that, and other, and it probably won't. It'll probably be a team that's got 40-50% of the players that was on the pitch today, who are clearly not of the level of players who've won the league for Manchester United in the past. So what does that tell you? Yeah, well done. No one cares. Any fucking way. Subscribe and all that jazz. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.